Hi, my name is Mia, and you're watching Disney Channel. Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Of course, my name is Mia, and I am here to tell you guys that I'm starting this channel. I'm giving you a synopsis.
On June 3rd, 2023, at 4:29 a.m., a grainy surveillance camera in Southfield, Michigan, captured a silver Jeep Compass speeding down Providence Drive. A young woman tumbles out of the back seat, her body hitting the pavement with a sickening thud. Left motionless in the middle of the road, the car slows for a moment, its brake lights flickering, before it accelerates into the night, leaving her behind. That woman was Mia Amelia Kanu, a 23-year-old veterinary student with a radiant smile and a heart full of dreams. What happened in those chaotic moments that led to Mia's lifeless body being abandoned on a dark street? How can a night of celebration with friends end in such betrayal? This is the story of a young woman whose life was cut short, a community left reeling, and a search for answers that still haunts those who loved her. By the end of this video, you'll know the chilling details of that fateful night in June 2023, and you'll be left wondering, could this tragedy have been prevented? Let's dive into the heartbreaking case of Mia Kanu, a story that begins with joy but ends in unimaginable loss. Mia's love for animals was evident from a young age. As a child, she'd spend hours in her backyard coaxing stray cats with bits of food, earning their trust with her gentle patience. By high school, she was volunteering at local shelters, cleaning cages and walking dogs with a smile that never faded, even during long shifts. One anecdote her mother shared was for Mia's 16th birthday, when she begged to spend a day at a nearby animal rescue instead of having a party. She came home covered in fur, happier than I'd ever seen her, Bianca recalled in an interview with news outlets. That passion carried her to Tennessee State, where she pursued a degree in veterinary science. Mia wasn't just a student. She was a researcher at the university's Agricultural Research and Extension Center, working on projects to improve animal welfare. Her professors noted her curiosity, describing her as someone who'd stay late in the lab, scribbling notes and asking questions that showed a mind hungry for knowledge. Mia's leadership shone in every part of her life. At Southfield High School for the Arts and Technology, she was a standout volleyball player, known for her fierce serves and her ability to rally her team during tense matches. Her coach, in a tribute posted on the school's alumni page, called her a quiet leader who led by example, always lifting others up. Off the court, Mia was a friend everyone leaned on. She'd organize study groups, plan group outings, and check in on friends who seemed down. One story from her best friend, Aaliyah, shared during a memorial vigil, captured Mia's heart. During their senior year, Aaliyah was struggling with a family issue and stopped showing up to class. Mia drove to her house, sat with her for hours, and helped her create a plan to get back on track. She didn't just care, she acted. Aaliyah said, her voice breaking. That selflessness defined Mia, making her the glue in her friend group. Mia's family was her anchor. She was especially close to her mother, Bianca, and her grandmother, Lucia, who raised her in a tight-knit household filled with love and faith. Sunday dinners at their Southfield home were a tradition, with Mia often taking charge of the dessert. Her famous peach cobbler was a family favorite. She'd make a mess in the kitchen, but we didn't care, Bianca told news outlets. Her smile made it worth it. Mia's faith was a cornerstone of her life. She was an active member of her church's youth group, often volunteering to read scripture or help with community outreach. Her grandmother recalled how Mia would pray before every big decision, from choosing a college to picking her summer job. That spiritual grounding gave her a sense of purpose, one that carried her through challenges and fueled her dreams. Mia's ambition was to become a veterinarian, specializing in equine care. She had a particular love for horses, inspired by a childhood trip to a Michigan farm where she rode for the first time. She came back saying she'd own a ranch one day. Her mother shared in a GoFundMe tribute. Mia was already taking steps toward that dream, interning at a veterinary clinic in Nashville during her college years and saving up for graduate school. Her professor saw her potential, with one noting in a university statement that Mia's research on animal nutrition was promising work that could have changed lives. Beyond her career goals, Mia dreamed of traveling. She kept a journal with a list of places she wanted to visit, including Kenya to see wildlife safaris and Italy for its history. That journal, found after her passing, broke her family's hearts, a reminder of the future she'd never have. Mia's impact rippled through Southfield. She was known at the Green Lantern restaurant, where she worked as a server during summer breaks. Regulars remember her for her quick wit and ability to remember their orders without writing them down. She made you feel like you were a favorite customer, one patron told news outlets. Her church community felt her loss deeply. The pastor at her memorial service spoke of her as a light we didn't deserve but were blessed to have. Mia's ability to connect people was evident in the hundreds who attended her vigil, holding candles and sharing stories of her kindness. For a young woman of 23, her reach was extraordinary, touching lives in ways that became painfully clear only after she was gone. As I read through Mia's story, what strikes me is how someone so young could leave such a profound mark. Her love for animals, her loyalty to friends, her unwavering faith. It's hard not to feel the weight of her absence. Mia wasn't just a victim. She was a daughter, a sister, a friend, a dreamer. Her story reminds us how fragile life can be, how one moment can change everything. And it makes you wonder, how many other MIAs are out there, their potential stolen by a single preventable tragedy? What do you think Mia's legacy teaches us about the people we hold dear? Let's hold that thought as we move to the day that changed everything for Mia and those who loved her. As the sun dipped below the horizon on June 2nd, 2023, Southfield, Michigan, buzzed with the energy of early summer. The streets were alive with the hum of cars, the laughter of kids enjoying their first days of break, and the distant thump of music from backyard gatherings. Mia Kanu, back home from Tennessee State University, was wrapping up her shift at the Green Lantern restaurant in nearby Berkeley. According to co-workers interviewed by the Detroit Free Press, she was her usual vibrant self, joking with the kitchen staff and charming customers with her quick smile. As the evening wound down, Mia clocked out, her apron folded neatly, ready to join her friends for a night out. The air was warm, the kind of night that promised carefree memories, a stark contrast to the tragedy that would soon unfold. Sometime after her shift, Mia was picked up by her friend Kentia Fearn, a 23-year-old who'd been staying at Mia's family home in Southfield. According to police reports summarized by news outlets, the two were close, often spending summers together since their high school days. That night, they headed to a house party in the area, joined by a small group of mutual friends. The details of the party are sparse. Southfield police noted it was a typical gathering, with music, drinks, and young people catching up. Witnesses later told investigators the mood was lively but unremarkable, with no signs of tension early on. Mia, true to form, was likely at the center of it all, laughing and connecting with friends, her energy lighting up the room. But as the night grew late, the group decided to leave, piling into Fearn's silver 2022 Jeep Compass for the short drive back. As the Jeep pulled onto Providence Drive, the atmosphere inside the car began to shift. According to Fearn's later statement to police, as reported by the Oakland Press, she'd been arguing with her boyfriend earlier that evening. The details of their dispute are murky, but it was heated enough that her boyfriend took her phone and drove off, leaving her frustrated. In the back seat, Mia was quiet, possibly dozing after a long night, her head resting against the window. Another friend, whose identity wasn't publicly disclosed, was in the front passenger seat, caught up in the unfolding drama. The Jeep moved swiftly through the quiet streets of Southfield, the city's suburban sprawl, giving way to darker, less traveled roads near the Coach House apartments. As the Jeep approached the entrance to the Coach House apartments, something went horribly wrong. Surveillance footage, later released by Southfield Police Chief Elvin Barron during a September 2023 press conference, captured the chilling moment. Mia's body suddenly tumbled from the back seat onto the pavement. The car was moving at a significant speed. Investigators estimated 30 to 40 miles per hour based on the footage. The grainy video shows her hitting the ground hard, rolling to a stop in the middle of Providence Drive. The Jeep's brake lights flickered briefly as if Fearn hesitated, but then the vehicle sped off, disappearing around a curve. Mia lay motionless, alone in the dark, her phone and a key fob from the Jeep scattered nearby. Vomit was later found on the car's door seal and in the roadway, a grim clue to the state of those inside. Sometime later, police didn't specify how long, a driver passing through spotted Mia's body in the road and stopped. Shocked, they called 911, their voice trembling as they described the scene to dispatchers, according to audio released by Fox 2 Detroit. Emergency responders arrived quickly, finding Mia with severe head trauma. Paramedics worked frantically to stabilize her, rushing her to Ascension Providence Hospital, where she was placed on life support in the ICU. The scene was chaotic, with police cordoning off the area and collecting evidence under the glow of streetlights. Residents of the nearby apartments, awakened by sirens, gathered at their windows, whispering about the tragedy unfolding below. One neighbor, quoted anonymously by news outlets, said, "It was heartbreaking. You could feel the weight of it, even from a distance." Meanwhile, Fearn's Jeep was miles away. According to her statement to police, she didn't immediately stop because she was focused on chasing her boyfriend to retrieve her phone. At some point during the drive, she claimed Mia woke up, grabbed her own phone back from Fearn, and then fell out of the vehicle. The details here are hazy. Investigators noted Fearn's account was inconsistent, particularly about why the door was open or how Mia fell. What's clear from the footage is that Fearn slowed briefly but didn't stop to check on her friend. Instead, she drove on, later picking up another friend about 30 minutes after the incident. Only then did she return to the scene, by which time Mia had already been found and taken to the hospital. That delay will become a critical point in the investigation. As word of the incident spread through Southfield, the mood shifted from summer ease to disbelief. Mia's family was notified at the hospital, where they gathered in a haze of grief and confusion. Bianca Van Meter, Mia's mother, later told news outlets, "I couldn't understand how this happened. She was with people she trusted. Friends who'd been at the party were questioned by police, their accounts varying slightly, but painting a picture of a night that spiraled out of control." One friend, speaking anonymously to Local 4, said they didn't realize Mia was gone until Fearn mentioned it later, assuming she'd gotten out voluntarily. The inconsistency in their stories raised questions. Did anyone in the car know what happened and choose to stay silent? Could someone have acted to save Mia before it's too late? The surveillance footage is haunting, but it doesn't tell the whole story. Why didn't Fearn stop immediately? Was the chaos in the car enough to distract from a friend's life hanging in the balance? And what about the other passengers? Did they see Mia fall and say nothing? These are the questions that linger as we piece together that night. Think about it. If you were in that car caught in a moment of panic, would you have noticed a friend in danger? Let's pause here to reflect on what we've uncovered so far. As the sun rose over Southfield, Michigan, on June 3rd, 2023, the reality of Mia Kanu's tragedy began to sink in. The 23-year-old veterinary student lay in a hospital bed, fighting for her life, while police pieced together the events that left her abandoned on Providence Drive. At the center of their investigation was Kentia Fearn, Mia's 23-year-old friend, and the driver of the silver 2022 Jeep Compass. According to police reports, Fearn was no stranger to Mia's family. She'd been staying at their Southfield home during the summer, a guest welcomed like a sister. The two had known each other since high school, sharing laughs, secrets, and summer nights like the one that ended in disaster. But as investigators dug deeper, questions arose. How could someone so close to Mia leave her to die without stopping? Was this a tragic accident fueled by panic? Or was there more to Fearn's actions? Fearn's account, as detailed in police statements, painted a chaotic picture. She told detectives she'd been arguing with her boyfriend earlier that night at the house party. The fight escalated when he took her phone and drove off, leaving her stranded and furious. According to her, she borrowed Mia's phone to call another friend for help, and as they sped down Providence Drive, Mia, who may have been asleep or disoriented, suddenly woke up, grabbed her phone back, and fell out of the back seat. Fearn claimed she didn't stop immediately because she was focused on chasing her boyfriend. But the surveillance footage told a different story. The Jeep slowed briefly after Mia's fall, its brake lights glowing red, before accelerating away. That hesitation became a focal point for investigators. Why didn't she turn back? Was she too impaired to make a rational choice? Police reports revealed a critical detail. Fearn was driving under the influence. Toxicology results, later shared during a September 2023 press conference by Southfield Police Chief Elvin Barron, confirmed alcohol in her system. Vomit found on the Jeep's door seal and in the roadway near Mia's body suggested someone in the car, possibly Fearn or Mia herself, was heavily intoxicated. This raised a chilling question. Did alcohol cloud Fearn's judgment so much that she didn't realize her friend had fallen? Or was she aware and chose to drive on? According to local reports, Fearn admitted to drinking at the party, but insisted she wasn't too impaired to drive. Yet the evidence suggested otherwise, and her failure to stop immediately pointed to a lapse that cost Mia her life. The charge of operating while intoxicated causing death would hinge on this detail, a felony that carried significant weight. Fearn wasn't alone in the Jeep. At least one other friend was in the front passenger seat, though their identity hasn't been publicly disclosed. Police statements noted this passenger's account was vague, claiming they were caught up in the argument between Fearn and her boyfriend and didn't notice Mia's fall until it was too late. Investigators found this hard to believe. How could someone miss a person tumbling out of a moving car? The passenger's silence in those critical moments raised suspicion. Did they urge Fearn to keep driving, or were they too shocked to act? Their lack of clarity became a key inconsistency, leaving police to wonder if fear or loyalty kept them from speaking up. Some in the community speculated this friend might have been complicit, perhaps distracted by the drama or unwilling to confront Fearn's reckless behavior. But without concrete evidence, there remained a witness, not a suspect. Fearn's boyfriend, who sparked the argument that night, emerged as another figure in the investigation. According to police, he wasn't in the Jeep when Mia fell, having left the party earlier after taking Fearn's phone. His actions set the chain of events in motion, prompting Fearn's erratic pursuit. Investigators questioned him to establish a timeline, but he wasn't named a suspect, as he wasn't present during the incident. Still, his role added complexity. Did his fight with Fearn push her into a reckless state of mind? Some online discussions, as noted in public forums, theorized he might have known more about the night's events, but police found no evidence to support this. His absence from the scene left him as a peripheral figure, though his influence on Fearn's actions couldn't be ignored. Fearn's story had holes that troubled investigators. First, she claimed Mia fell because she was reaching for her phone, but the speed of the Jeep, estimated at 30 to 40 miles per hour, made it unlikely Mia opened the door herself. Was the door faulty, or was it left unlocked during the chaotic drive? Second, Fearn's brief pause after the fall, captured on surveillance, suggested she knew something was wrong, yet she drove on for nearly 30 minutes before returning. Why the delay? Police also noted her account of phone argument shifted slightly each time she told it, raising doubts about her reliability. These inconsistencies fueled speculation. Was Fearn hiding something, or was she too intoxicated to process what happened? The passenger's vague recollection only deepened the mystery, leaving gaps that frustrated Mia's family and investigators alike. Unlike a premeditated crime, Mia's death appeared to be a tragic accident, but one rooted in negligence. According to court documents, prosecutors argued Fearn's motive wasn't malice, but a reckless disregard for safety. Her decision to drive while intoxicated, coupled with her failure to stop, painted a picture of someone prioritizing her own agenda, chasing her boyfriend over a friend's life. Some in the community, as reflected in public statements at Mia's vigil, wondered if Fearn's panic or fear of consequences kept her from acting. Others speculated personal tensions might have played a role, though no evidence supported this. The lack of a clear motive made the case even more heartbreaking. It wasn't hatred or intent that took Mia's life, but a series of preventable choices. What do you think? Was Fearn's actions a momentary lapse, or does her failure to stop suggest something deeper? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's debate what drove those fateful decisions. As details emerged, Southfield grappled with the betrayal at the heart of the case. Mia's family, particularly her mother, Bianca Van Meter, expressed anguish over Fearn's actions. She was supposed to be her friend, Bianca said in a public statement, her voice thick with grief. How do you leave someone you love like that? The community echoed her pain, with vigils and online posts demanding accountability. Some argued Fearn's intoxication was no excuse, while others questioned whether the other passenger bore responsibility for not intervening. The case sparked broader conversations about drunk driving, a persistent issue in Michigan, where, according to state data, alcohol-related crashes claim hundreds of lives annually. Mia's story became a rallying cry, a reminder of the human cost of reckless choices. But as the investigation deepened, new revelations would shift the narrative in unexpected ways. As the summer of 2023 faded, Southfield police continued to unravel the events of Mia Kanu's final night. The surveillance footage, released during a September 2023 press conference, was a gut punch to the community, a stark visual of Mia's fall and the Jeep's fleeting pause before it sped away. But a deeper dive into the evidence revealed a twist that left investigators and Mia's family reeling. The Jeep's back door showed no signs of mechanical failure. According to police reports, the door was fully functional, meaning it was either left unlocked or open during the drive. This raised a haunting question. How did Mia, possibly disoriented or asleep, end up falling out of a moving vehicle? The absence of a clear answer fueled speculation. Was someone in the car negligent in securing the door, or did something else happen in those chaotic moments? This detail shifted the focus from a simple accident to a puzzle with missing pieces, leaving everyone to wonder what wasn't being said. Another jolt came from the toxicology reports, which confirmed not only Fearn's intoxication, but also traces of alcohol in Mia's system. According to investigators, Mia's blood alcohol level suggested she'd been drinking at the party, though not to the extent of Fearn. This added a layer of complexity. Was Mia disoriented enough to open the door herself, as Fearn claimed, or was her fall a result of someone else's actions? The vomit found at the scene, on the Jeep's door and in the roadway, hinted at a chaotic environment inside the car, possibly with multiple people impaired. This revelation sparked heated online discussions, with some speculating Mia might have been trying to escape a tense situation. But police emphasized there was no evidence of foul play, only negligence. Still, the toxicology findings deepened the tragedy, painting a picture of a night where alcohol clouded everyone's judgment, leading to catastrophic consequences. As the case gained traction, online platforms became a battleground for opinions and theories. Public forums buzzed with debates about Fearn's actions, with some users calling her a monster for leaving Mia, while others argued she was a young woman caught in a moment of panic. According to posts compiled from community discussions, a few anonymous accounts claimed to know details about the party, suggesting underlying tensions in the friend group. Police investigated these tips but found no corroborating evidence. The online chatter also amplified Mia's story, with hashtags like #JusticeForMia trending locally. Mia's mother, Bianca, used social media to share tributes, posting photos of Mia's radiant smile and urging the community to remember her daughter's light. These posts, liked and shared thousands of times, kept the case in the public eye, pressuring authorities to act swiftly. The digital outcry showed how social media could both amplify grief and demand accountability, turning Mia's tragedy into a shared mission for justice. Reading through these twists, I can't help but feel a knot in my stomach. The idea that a functional door and a night of drinking led to such a loss is almost too much to process. It's not just the facts, it's the human cost. Mia's family had to sit with these revelations, knowing their daughter's final moments were marked by chaos and neglect. It makes you wonder, how many other nights like this end in tragedy because of one bad choice? The online debates, while messy, show how deeply this case hits Southfield, a community desperate for answers and closure. What strikes me most is Mia's vulnerability in that moment. Left alone on a dark road by the very people she trusted. Let's hold that thought as we uncover the next layer of this story, one that leaves us questioning what justice really means. As police built their case against Fearn, a new question emerged. What happened to key fob found near Mia's body? The item, confirmed belonged to Fearn's Jeep, was a small but nagging detail. Was it dropped during Mia's fall, or did it point to someone else's presence at the scene? Investigators kept this under wraps, but its mention in early reports left a lingering mystery. Could this tiny piece of evidence hold the key to understanding those final moments? Let's dive into where the case stands now and what it means for Mia's legacy. As of September 2025, the case against Kentia Fearn remains unresolved, a wound still fresh for Mia Kanu's family and the Southfield community. Fearn was arrested on September 21st, 2023, charged with operating while intoxicated causing death and leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death, both felonies that could carry years in prison. According to court documents, she was released on bond pending trial, but delays in the legal process have left Mia's loved ones frustrated. A 2024 update from local authorities indicated the case was still active, with Fearn's legal team arguing she acted out of panic, not intent. Prosecutors, however, emphasize her negligence, pointing to surveillance footage and toxicology results as damning evidence. No trial date has been publicly confirmed, leaving the outcome uncertain and the community on edge. Mia's mother, Bianca Van Meter, has channeled her grief into advocacy. In June 2024, on the one-year anniversary of Mia's death, she launched the Mia Kanu Foundation, a nonprofit aimed at empowering young girls through education, mentorship, and community programs. According to a statement from the foundation's launch event, Bianca vowed to keep Mia's spirit alive by helping others avoid similar tragedies. "Mia would have wanted us to lift each other up," she said, her words resonating with the hundreds who gathered to honor her daughter. The foundation has since hosted workshops on safe driving and alcohol awareness, partnering with local schools to reach young people. This initiative has become a beacon of hope, turning Mia's loss into a call for change in a community scarred by her death. Mia's case has sparked conversations beyond Southfield, highlighting the dangers of drunk driving. Michigan state data shows over 300 alcohol-related crash deaths annually, a statistic that hits harder when tied to a face like Mia's. Community vigils, attended by hundreds, have called for stricter DUI laws and better education for young drivers. According to public statements from local leaders, Mia's story has pushed Southfield to host more sobriety checkpoints and youth outreach programs. The tragedy also exposed the fragility of trust, how a single night can shatter bonds between friends. Online, Mia's story continues to circulate, with posts urging accountability and remembrance. Her case has become a sobering reminder. One choice can ripple through countless lives. Mia Amelia Kanu was more than a victim. She was a dreamer who wanted to heal animals, a friend who lifted others up, a daughter who brought joy to her family. Her peach cobbler, her volleyball serves, her late-night study sessions, those are the memories her loved ones hold tight. At her memorial, her grandmother, Lucia Riz, said, "Mia's light still shines in us. We carry her forward." That light is evident in the foundation, in the community's resolve, in the stories shared by those who knew her. Mia's life was short, but her impact endures, a testament to a young woman who lived with purpose and love. As we close this chapter, one question lingers. What does justice look like for Mia? Is it a conviction for Fearn, or is it ensuring no other family endures this pain? Drunk driving isn't just a statistic. It's a choice that stole Mia's future. What can we do in our own lives to prevent another story like hers? Share your thoughts in the comments. How has Mia's story touched you? And what changes do you think we need to see? Let's keep her memory alive by demanding better for her and for all those we've lost too soon. Thank you for joining us on Dark Truth Files. Until next time, stay safe and hold your loved ones close.